Hey, good morning, guys. It's 10:16 a.m. Sunday morning. It's a bit chilly outside today, guys. I've already been out to the van once, and it was cold. I had to get that inventory out from yesterday. And I still need to go out there and get those straw plate holders, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. I got a hot tea going here, guys. I've already had a bunch of coffee, so I'm trying to slow down on the coffee and drink some tea instead. And it's actually pretty relaxing for me. And I'm not some kind of tea snob either. I can drink pretty much anything. I'll drink like Bigelow or Celestial Seasonings or whatever you got. I do enjoy lemon flavor though, if it's available, and also a blueberry. Well, boys and girls, I have quite the busy day ahead of me. As you guys can see here, this is the project stuff for today. I have to list this Villaware with those sets. I think I'm just going to sell that together. And I need to test this stuff really well. I want to make sure it's working good. And then these rails for a skateboard, I need to take some measurement photos with that. I need to take some measurement photos with this. I've decided I'm going to lot those two together because they're not worth much. So I'm going to try to sell those for $15 for the set. And then I got all this stuff down here, guys. This is all more stuff that I need to get listed. This sandwich press was one that I bought a few weeks ago, so it was kind of in a death pile. And then I saw that there was this Mr. Coffee Cafe Cocoa machine over in my death pile too. Now, I don't know anything about that particular model. I've never sold one before, but what I do know is the Cocoa Motions are selling like hotcakes. And if those are anything like the Cocoa Motions, they'll do really well. And this is the perfect time to be getting that stuff on eBay. So mainly that box is just full of the items that I purchased this week at More Than a Thrift and the Salvation Army. Plus 2 items from my original death pile. And I really enjoy it when I can get items from my old death pile listed. It makes me feel like I've achieved something. I'm pretty sure that's going to take most of the day to try to list that stuff. I think the worst part is going to be packing those items. With the larger items, I want to get them packed and put on the shelf. That way, when they sell, I can just slap a label on them and they're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on this stuff, guys, because if I don't start now, I'm not going to start at all. And ain't nothing gonna get done. So we'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alright, guys, so I'm just testing this Villaware waffle maker. As you can see, the red light is on. That just means it's heating up. Open that guy up there. Yeah, it's hot. But we're waiting for that green button to come on. Okay, look. See? Hear that? You hear that, guys? That's like a little alarm. The reason it did that was because I turned it down. Now if I turn it back up, the green light might go off because it has a thermostat in it. So it definitely works good. So it looks like this model doesn't do terribly bad on eBay. One sold recently for $75 free shipping, and one sold for $59.95 plus shipping. That model right there is the one I usually find. That's a pretty good one. I haven't found one of those in a while though. This guy only got $40 plus shipping, but that was also back in September. You've got 2 guys asking $50 plus shipping. So I think it's probably pretty reasonable to assume that I can also put mine up there for $49.95 plus shipping. So that's probably what I'll do. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's about 11:10 p.m. Sunday night, and I'm kind of just working late tonight. I took a nap at about noon and woke up and it was about 5. So I guess I just needed some sleep. I got a lot of stuff done today. Listed some items. I tested some of those Villawares. Guys, we have found a problem, okay? I didn't realize it when I bought it, but this part was cracked and I didn't notice it. So I pulled it off because I just wanted to see if it could work without the part. I was very disappointed because this machine has sold recently for $95, but nobody's going to pay $95 for a broken one. So I'm trying to figure out what can I do to salvage this $10 loss. This is why you always need to check it very closely. If I would have seen the damage, maybe I could have used it as a bargaining tool to get this thing for nothing or next to nothing. Although maybe not, who knows really. They could have just said, no, we're not doing that here. We like top dollar. But at any rate, I have to find a way to get my $10 back and make some money. So I'm toying with the idea of taking out this heating element, but to be completely honest with you, I think that's the only thing it's going to be, is an idea. Because this seems like it could be a lot of work and not really worth the profit. It's very saddening too, because I love Villaware machines, but what I think I'm going to do is just try to sell these plates. There's sets of plates here, and I'm just going to try to sell them as sets. One set sold today for $17.49 plus shipping. So what I think I'll do is create a variation listing and have all 3 sets available for individual purchase. That way somebody that needs a particular set can order it for $19.95 plus shipping. That way if somebody needs a certain set, they can just order it for $20 plus shipping. I might even be able to get those into a legal flat rate envelope. So I think what I'll just do is toss the machine and try to sell those items as a set. Hey, good morning guys. It's Monday morning, 8:32 a.m. and cold. So yesterday was a pretty good day. I got a lot of work done. I stayed up till about 2 a.m. and I did some product photography. And then I even found myself getting into a project that I had not anticipated getting into. So I have 5 long bins that I use for parts when I used to sell a lot of parts. But I haven't been selling quite as many parts as I used to because I usually don't find the types of items that I would part out too often anymore. I used to find them a lot more at garage sales, and thrift stores had them cheaper, but the prices are so high now, I usually don't buy those items anymore. And at one point, all of the items were listed. Over the years, I guess they just kind of fell off my store somehow. So anyway, I went through that bin and I started pulling out the parts that I think I could sell and just throwing away the parts that just don't have any value. So a bit later, I'll pull those parts out and show you guys what that stuff is. I've got a pretty big packing day ahead of me today. I believe I have 16 items going out. I basically need to get these items off of my table so that I can get the items I'm going to ship onto it. Generally, I would just go outside in the garage and pack, but it's so cold outside and I don't feel like standing around out there. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take photographs of this Express Ready Set Go that I purchased at More Than a Thrift for $10. I believe I can get $20 plus shipping for this item. I'm going to ask, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates. I'm going to do a separate listing of these 5 plates for $29.95 or $34.95 plus shipping. I just don't think I would get as much if I sold the plates with the cooker, so I'm just going to try to part it out. And then there's also this part off of that as well, and I think I might be able to get between $8 and $12. I'll have to look it up, but maybe. Alright, so we have a fair amount of items going out today. It wasn't a bad weekend. I sold 15 items this weekend, and I just sold that Pizzelle maker that I listed last night for $25 plus shipping. And the first item we sold was After the Gold Rush by Neil Young. And it's in pretty good shape. And it sold for $9.95 plus shipping. And then we got that Whirly Dunkin' Donuts mug. It sold for $19.95 plus $5 shipping. And then we sold this original Led Zeppelin Houses of the Holy vinyl record. It's not in bad shape. You can see like it's got some, you know, circular wear and stuff, but it's definitely in pretty good shape, you know. The record didn't look too bad. But that sold for $24.95 plus shipping. That may have been the last Led Zeppelin that I had. So you guys might want to keep an eye out for Led Zeppelin because that stuff sells pretty quickly. And then we sold this Brookstone foam pillow. It's been listed for a long time, but it sold for $25 plus shipping. Then we got that large Reese's coffee cup. It sold for $12.50 plus the buyer paid about $12.50 shipping. And then there's this LL Bean sports jacket. This is actually what the jacket looks like, guys, when it's on a mannequin. But I picked this up a few years ago at the Goodwill for $8 because it had like a $70 price tag on it. And I thought I found a nugget. But what it ended up being was a coal nugget. It sat in my death pile for 2 years and then in my eBay store for a year and a half. So I'm happy to see it go. It sold for $10 and the buyer paid $10.90 shipping. I'll probably just break even. A good riddance. Then we sold that Lego police boat vintage. I picked that up at Savers for $1.99 and I may have used a coupon on it, but I wasn't able to get it to sell, so I ended up taking an offer on it of $10. And then we sold this Radica pocket slot electronic game. It also sat around for a long time and it sold for $10.95, free shipping. Then we got these 4 vintage white glass bake 11-ounce soup cereal bowls, and I picked those up in Salvation Army, I think for 75 or 79 cents a piece, and this set of 4 sold for $15 plus the buyer paid $11.55 shipping. And then this set of kickboxing gloves, picked that up for about $2 or $3 at the Savers, and it sold for $10. Buyer paid $13.65 shipping. This was a really good one. If you guys remember this week when I was at the Salvation Army, I found these 2 boxes of Contour diabetic glucose strips, and I picked them up for 50 cents a piece, and they both sold in a lot of 2 for $49.95 plus $3.95 shipping. So that was a very good one. And then we have this elbow support. I was going to lot this together with the other one, but somebody bought it before I was able to do that. So it sold for $11.95 free shipping, and it was $1.50. And then we have a Breville cleaning brush. It sold for $12.50 with free shipping. And then that box right there is this right here, a lot of 43 vintage train tracks, and it sold for $15 plus $9.90 shipping. And it took a very long time to sell. So I probably won't buy any more train tracks unless they're next to free. Then we got this box of Food Saver replacement rolls going out, and the buyer paid $24.95 plus $11.55 shipping. I believe I picked that up at the Salvation Army in Portsmouth for $1.99. And then the last thing we have going out is this Pizzelle maker that I listed last night. I listed this last night and it sold for $24.95 plus $10.95 shipping. Alright guys, so I'm going to go pack up those little nuggets and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. And looks like we are going to be cooking that Salvation Army bird that we picked up last week. Mr. K has some seasoning on this, and how long do you think this will take to cook?
I think about 5-6 hours.
About 5 or 6 hours?
300 degrees.
At 300 degrees?
Slow cook.
Okay. So we'll get that in the oven, and we'll see what happens with it. Alright guys, so I just got done packing up those 16 orders. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of work inside and take a nap because I'm a bit tired. And we just sold this Blaster Master for the original Nintendo. That sold for $25.54 out the door. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Monday night, about 11:30 p.m. and I'm kind of hanging out, doing a little bit of work. After I packed all of those orders up, I watched a little bit of YouTube and then took a nap and fell asleep for about 3 hours. And then when I woke up, Mr. K had that turkey ready that we put in the oven this afternoon, and it came out fantastic. He still had a few sides left over. There was my meme's meat stuffing. He had like roasted butternut. There was green beans. And guys, I gotta tell you a little story, but you gotta promise not to tell anyone because it's a little bit embarrassing. So what happened was Mr. K cut up a pound of bacon, some sausage, some butter, onions, and sauteed all of these things into a pan. And then he put them in the refrigerator. Well, well, what I thought they were the leftover hash browns that he made this morning for breakfast. But they were indeed not the hash browns. So about 3/4 through this container of delight, I realized that these were not hash browns. But they were so good, I just couldn't stop eating. And then Mr. K was telling me about how he had sauteed all of this meat in butter, and he was going to put them into beans, and he looked everywhere. He was looking in cabinets. He was looking all over the refrigerator. You know, this is during like his happy hour where he might get a little bit dazed, and he just thought they were gone forever. And then I had to admit to him that I thought they were hash browns, and I ate them. I think he was more relieved to find out that he wasn't losing his mind. But guys, that was delicious. He wanted to mix them up with the green beans, but to be completely honest, the beans were perfect as they were. And I would be happy to eat them like that again. But anyway, guys, dinner was fantastic. We had those sides. We watched a movie that was on YouTube, and it wasn't a bad movie. It had that guy that played the big boss in Goodfellas. I don't know his name, but he was some type of boss figure, and they were involved with some kind of big poker and gambling and stuff, and it was a pretty good movie. A little bit violent, but it was cool. And then after the movie, I came in here and started listing stuff on eBay. I listed the rest of those more valuable records. Those are out of here. I listed that Villaware, that sandwich maker, and those plates for the broken Villaware. And what I have left from last week's picking is all of this stuff right here. You know, you got a couple bike seats, one down there. We got the book here. That's not from last week, but that will be going. And then I tested that percolator. It works fine. So I need to kind of wipe it down a little bit. And what you see here, guys, are parts that I pulled out of those bins that somehow are no longer listed. There were quite a few of them. Actually, some of them are pretty good. I'm going to take this basket and load it up with this other part that was listed and probably get about 18 bucks. And then you got like a Cuisinart jar lid. Those sell for probably 12 to 15. You got feet off of a Ronco. You got a Keurig lid. You know, there's some, this is really nice, and I don't know how this slipped through the cracks. I believe this is a Huron auger, and these sell for great money, like $30, $40. So I definitely need to find out which model that goes to and get it up. And then you got like work bowl lids and stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff. That part right there is like $17.99. So there's some good stuff. You got some Oster blender blades. One of them has a bad gasket, it looks like. This is a portafilter basket for Krupp's 963 and similar models. This sells for like $8.95. Not a lot of money. This is a Krupp's frothing tip, and they sell for like $10. So easy to ship. I don't know how this stuff became unlisted, but I'm getting it back up there, guys. I'm gonna get that money. That's for a salad shooter right there. It's the slicing blade, and you can tell it's the slicing blade because it just has blades on it. The shred blades have like holes instead of a slicing blade. But this is in pretty good shape. They don't sell for much. These only sell for like between $6 to $8. I probably got this for next to nothing. So that's probably what I'll be working on tomorrow. Maybe even a little bit tonight. I want to try to get out to more than a thrift Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. because I want to see what they've been stocking up. Because Big Josh don't like sloppy seconds. I don't know if you guys can see very well, but this is all stuff that is photographed, and I need to get it all listed. That's the licky mat, and there's probably about 5 or 6 items. I need to go over that cross stitch because I thought it was new, but it's definitely not. And then I got to work on that electric razor. But I think we still have things that can keep us occupied. So if you guys remember, in the last video, I was talking a little bit about some big news. Well, what it is my friend down in Tennessee is selling her house, and they would like me to come down and pick up some items to help them sell. And I really do want to go because I plan on probably sticking around for at least a month because I want to hit those overstock stores in South Carolina and see if I can just get a bunch of stuff. They've got like fill-a-bag days and all kinds of stuff. There's just a lot of that stuff down there. But there are a few things to consider. If I do go down there, I basically have to shut my eBay store down because all of my merchandise is here. So if somebody were to buy something, then I wouldn't be able to ship it to them. I'm not sure if there's a feature that allows you to turn off certain items. That would be something good to know. And if I'm not selling items, then I have no money coming in. But on the other hand, I also think there's a lot of money to be made going down there. Plus, it's getting very cold here, and it would be nice to get a little bit of that nice weather. South Carolina is still having 60-degree days there now. Plus, my sister lives there, and I haven't visited her since 2017. My nephew's there too, my niece. So definitely would be nice to go down there. I just got to make sure I have the money to go. It's going to cost me some cash. There's going to be gas involved. Depending on how much inventory I get, I might have to rent a storage unit. So there definitely are things to consider. But I'm definitely open to going down there. I know they have a lot of stuff, which is another thing to consider because I don't know how much I can fit in my van at one time. So I'm definitely trying to get some more information. I've got the van going into the dealership next week to get a transmission flush. I want to make sure that the transmission service before I try to take a trip like that. So we're just going to do what we can do and play it by ear, guys. But I think I'm going to get off here, guys, and try to photograph some of these parts. I want to try to get as much listed as possible tomorrow so that I can go out Wednesday and try to get some more goodies. You guys have a wonderful day or night. If you enjoy the videos, please give me a like. If you guys have any questions or concerns or any ideas of topics you'd like me to talk about, just do me a favor and throw them in the comments section. And if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I'd appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.